The following is going to be split into a spoiler-free and a mega spoiler section for the DLC because I have many feelings, but fair warning now, I will be spoiling the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 throughout. Also, if you haven't seen my review on the main game, I recommend you give that a look first before you watch this. Links down below. It's outdated now, but watch it anyway. Okay, cool, moving on. Okay, so this is a series with a lot of traditional baggage, so before I start spewing my thoughts on the DLC's quality, allow me to explain the history of Kingdom Hearts' revisional re-releases, if you will. So, as most folks know, the series has been around since 2002. Oh yeah, it can vote now. But after the success of Kingdom Hearts 1, the game was re-released again 1 year later as Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, an enhanced director's cut version of the game with new story bits, bosses, items, abilities, difficulties, gameplay adjustments, and they even swapped the enemy's color palette around for some reason. Fight down below on who you think the cooler big lizard is, guys. Let's settle this one for good, alright? Anyway, the Final Mix editions were well received, and most of the larger games in the series ended up getting the Final Mix treatment after release too, adding in a bunch of extra content and adjustments that made the originals look a little ugly. The one catch with these Final Mix versions, though, is that they were exclusive to Japan up until 2013 with the first Kingdom Hearts HD collection on the PlayStation 3. Since then, every port of the series has had the Final Mix version be the only version you can get, so they are considered the true canon versions of the game at this point. And because the series has spanned across almost 20 years of console generations, by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, purchasable DLC is the most convenient way to release some kind of add-on. The future is now. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind is just another Final Mix entry for the modern gen. A real hunky one at that. So the dev team waited on the player base's, feedback of the base game before they really made a big dent in the DLC's development, so they could address some of the criticisms while delivering on the expected Final Mix-like additions. And 1 year after release, that's exactly what we got. The one and done DLC. So what's in Kingdom Hearts 3 Re:'Mind? Well, the first being the new scenario, respectfully titled, you guessed it, Remind. Roughly a 4-hour story segment that takes place after the main game that shows a different perspective to the ending, along with new bosses, playable characters, and explorable areas. The second big inclusion is the Limit Cut episode, a small post-game story chapter with some familiar faces, where you get access to 13 unique data battles, aka beefed up versions of the game's main bosses, along with a special super boss once you have beaten everything else. The DLC ain't just story crap though, there is also the Data Greetings feature, which allows you to place in the game models in different maps so you can take pictures and meme it up.
Indeed.
And then there are the premium menus, settings that let you add restrictions or cheats on a new game for special challenge playthroughs if you hate yourself or are very lazy. So yeah, you do have to purchase Remind if you want to experience any of these. On the plus side though, there was a free update patch released alongside the DLC that fixes bugs, zhuzhed up the visuals a bit, and added in the Oathkeeper and Oblivion Keyblades, which you can access in the base game as long as you complete their requirements. So that's all the new stuff, but I like to get the big question out of the way first. Is Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind good? Yes. Kinda. Okay, so here's the deal. Kingdom Hearts 3 was, and always will be, a game for fans that tricked a bunch of first-timers into playing it because it just looks so gosh dang fun on the outside looking in, and fans kept saying the series was more addictive than Hot Chip. With that being said, the DLC addresses most of the hardcore fans' wants rather than the everyday gamer Joe Schmo's petty pleads. So if you didn't understand Kingdom Hearts 3 already, and would describe yourself as a passive consumer that vibes with Disney above all else, then no, this DLC will not change your mind on the game and you should not get it. If only game journalists knew that. However, if you see yourself as a dedicated fan that felt that Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing because it wasn't fan-servicey enough or it didn't have the extras and challenge bits you were hoping for, then this DLC is for you. This has stuff you will like. Now, can't say I'm a big supporter of having important story moments and cool gameplay sections being behind a paywall, but that argument will age worse over time cause, inevitably, there will be a re-release of Kingdom Hearts 3 with the DLC included, and Remind dodges the stinky add-on stigma Just barely, because the content only makes sense if you've beaten the main game already. Not to mention, if it was in the base game, it would have padded out the ending world even more, and the end game being stupid long was already a complaint. So I give it big clever points, cause it doesn't change the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 at all. It just gives you more perspective that adds clarity to some of the weirder ending moments and some massive breadcrumbs for the future of the series. As for the gameplay content though, it's packed with fun, spectacle, and some of the series' coolest moments. The new playable characters control like butter in their battles, and there is a bunch of extra situation commands that are both flashy and sentimental. Skyla's explorable section is really detailed and has interesting eye candy to check out. I do wish it was a bit bigger with more to do though, but what's there ain't bad. Now the data bosses are all exceptionally fresh, challenging fights that will give even the most skilled players an absolute aneurysm, but in a sexy way. Ranging from hard to I wanna cry, these fights highlight the combat strengths and allow for tons of different strategies, so you get that replay value. These alone make the DLC worth it in my opinion. They are really that good. Granted, there are some hiccups. Parts of Remind's new scenario are very redundant in the beginning cause it rehashes some scenes and fights from the base game, and some cutscenes answer both too much and too little.
Luxord, Marluxia, and Larxene, that's 5. The ones from the past transferred into replicas are Ansem, Xemnas,
Yep, they are
Vanitas,
still
Riku
talking, oh boy.
Repli-
Also, while Nomura heard y'all's cries to bring back the Final Fantasy characters, their inclusion here does feel like a patch job apology rather than a thought-out appearance with purpose, cause their stuff is pretty brief. Also, it's criminal we cannot leave this room. Like, the Radiant Gardens courtyard is right outside. I can access it in the data greetings for God's sake. But no. Walking through this door as Riku would be too much apparently. Come on, Square! Also, while I'm being petty, the audio is a massive mixed bag. Now, there are tons of new battle themes and remixes that deserve some fat applause, cause that slaps, so the music is fine, go figure, but some of the performances and mixing are whack. Terra specifically sounds like he swallowed his headset mic while recording cause he's peeking all over the place.
If we hold it back, it might vanish.
No. Only the Keyblade has the power to stop it.
And Riku delivers some of the flattest lines I have heard in a while.
Well, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are searching for clues in every past world that Sora's been to.
Not sure what was up with this, but it was distracting to say the least, especially when it's juxtaposed to really energetic performances. And a general observation while I'm at it, I do feel like there is a little something lost with the DLC being accessed from the main menu versus the content organically being integrated into the main game like in past Final Mixes. But that's the difference between a post-game add-on and a director's cut re-release though. I'm just saying that the experience feels a bit too fragmented for my liking, since you gotta do a bunch of menuing and save boots back to back if you want to go between Remind's content and the main game. Change is scary, and I am aging. So the DLC didn't address every waking issue with the main game, but it did fix some of the biggest ones and managed to do it in a clever, fun, conclusive way while adding to the mystery with a real curveball ending. I have never been more curious about the future of the series now that Kingdom Hearts 3 is finally done. Square is firing all cylinders with several new games in the work to begin this new arc, and it seems Nomura might be a better planner than people think. Like, this is some 5D chess crap, I'm serious, but we'll just have to wait and see. Also, Square Enix, hi, how you doing? Please stop making the mobile game so important to the plot. Please, just port it or remake it or give it better production value or something. Just get it off the phone. I am begging. Get that thing out of your hands! But that's enough vagueness. Let's talk some spoiler feelings. Fair warning, the beans are gonna start flying all over the place, so if you haven't played Remind, get out now. I'm gonna start talking over some heads. So, first things first, how about that Kingdom Hearts 3 original ending, huh? There he goes! Now, obviously, Remind answers the question of how and why Sora disappeared. He abuses the power of waking to go back in time to the final battle and astral project jumps from heart to heart to save Kairi. In doing so, he breaks a nature taboo and fades from existence that God knows where as a consequence. Short, sweet, simple, and clean. Kinda. I mean, the base game alluded to this being the case with young Xehanort warning him about his actions cause he's a time travel slut too, and Mickey begging Sora not to chase after Kairi's heart since he knows it's a big no-no. Cause Mickey always knows too much and never elaborates when he needs to. You left Aqua alone in the void for 10 years cause he didn't tell nobody, you stupid rat. But of course, Sora, being the dense cutie that he is, dives in headfirst to undo the done. Astral projecting Sora connects with the hearts of his friends so you can control them in the fights against the organization this time around. And oh man, it's cool. Like fan service cool.
Time to wake up!
We're talking nostalgic music, emotional reunions, flashy new attacks, and little callbacks. Yeah, this shit's adorable. Remind starts off kinda slow, but just gets better as you play, eventually leading into one of the more, dare I say, epic moments in the series, with the whole cast fighting off the 13 Darknesses in the sky in unison.
Oh, wow.
Mechanically, this is just a hefty QuickTime event, but it made me go totally bananas. All of the characters work together and have these standout moments, little references, and oh, this is some good shit. Especially the Mickey sequence. Like, I don't know. I think this speaks for itself. Absolutely surreal mouse material on full display. I was on the verge of tears, guys, and I don't even like Mickey that much. This truly is what Kingdom Hearts is all about. But then it goes the extra mile with the keyhole segment that lights up the whole sky, cause you know, one sky, one destiny. And Sora brings Kairi back with the pathway unlocking sequence from Kingdom Hearts 2. And then everyone clapped, including me. But I gotta highlight the thing that we were all screaming for. Playable Kairi. There it is! This has been a top fan request since like 2006, and most folks thought the main game was going to have it, and when it didn't, oh, everyone was grieving, including me. But plot twist, technically, we got it. Maybe not in the way that we had hoped, but we got it. And this fight is so over the top, you can practically hear the devs in the background saying,
We're sorry.
Kairi's moveset is varied, snappy, and on brand, topped off with her shot lock that makes her go Super Saiyan, and oh, love that. Goat Xehanort is hardcore pissed and pulls out all the stops, summoning meteors that explode like mini nukes, and like, you know, you're just fighting in hell. It's pretty neat. So, needless to say, I liked Remind a lot. And if you want to see my full reactions to the DLC, links down below. I yell a lot.
I will stand up for Mickey! I will mash this triangle button! Get the f up!
But this is some stuff I would have liked to see in the base game though, specifically playable Kairi and the group fight, in some capacity. Again, story-wise, I get why it's here, cause it only works if you know the ending already, but with all of Kingdom Hearts' poetic license crap, the plot could have been written differently to incorporate these cool moments without it having to be this alternative scenario where Sora's bending time and space with friendship. But at the same time, what kind of game does stuff like this? This really is a series that perfectly teeters on the incredibly silly and frustrating yet brilliant line, cause these moments and beats feel extra rewarding if you are paying attention. The convoluted nature of the plot elevates the twists and surprises, and you just can't look away. Now, the limit cut content, I don't mind not being in the base game, cause historically, the super bosses have always been added in later, along with future game teasers. So, as mentioned already, I think these fights are, pretty kino. Like, try hard, we got something to prove kino. Everyone is loaded with brand new movesets and mechanics that will make you panic because they are relentless and bright. What's nice though is that the returning data battles from past games like Luxord and Marluxia still have their iconic gameplay gimmicks, but have been revamped to better fit Kingdom Hearts 3's combat. So it was fun seeing the evolution of these bosses. Now, these fights are designed in a way that requires really good pattern recognition, so it's really tough to cheese them if you don't dance along, and you can't just wail on them endlessly unless you're like a speedrunning god. They will give you room to breathe after every combo so you can learn the attacks, but you gotta dodge and block or else they will f you up.
Oh, this girl's got kicked!
The key to the data bosses, though, is find the openings to attack, so there is lots of room to experiment because there's a million different combinations you can string together to find the windows. Also, with the new abilities and update tweaks, the combat is a whole new type of smooth now. 98% of the time, because it still can be a bit funky. Now, difficulty has always been a subjective thing, but full disclosure, I fought all of the bosses on standard level 99 to gauge the base challenge. Remember y'all, I am not the most skilled Kingdom Hearts player. I can survive critical mode on a good day, and I'm a slippery little bitch when I get scared. So with that in mind, here is how I would rate the data bosses from easiest to hardest, in case you care. But between you, me, and everyone else watching this 6 feet apart from each other, I hope, I still haven't been able to beat the secret boss yet.
You thought you'd win?
It's a work in progress. But speaking of which, Yozora is a special kind of enigma. His fight is tough, intimidating, and listening to his battle theme on the top of the 104 makes me feel things I didn't think I could. Emo's back, baby! This fight is the same type of what the intrigue and fear Lingering Will gave me all those years ago, but now it's just modern and hot, and voiced by Dylan Sprouse. But the real question is, who the hell is this guy? He knows Sora, says he's going to save him, kicks his ass, throws him into crystal stasis, and then wakes up in the shell of a Final Fantasy Versus 13 trailer from 2011.
None of this makes sense to me.
Very cute, Nomura. But seriously, is Luxord the driver? Does Yozora control data or something? Are world lines a thing now? Are we a dream within a dream? Just much to think about. This is where the theories run wild, because this is certainly a way to start a new arc.
Like, is any of this for real? Or not?
You couldn't just let it go, huh? Is any of this for reals or not? I'd love to know, because there are two endings depending on if you win or lose against Yozora, and either of them could be the real one, or both of them. How meta is this going to get? Not too much, I hope. I don't know. There's just enough clues to maybe figure out where this is going. Maybe. But it's anyone's guess. Sora is asleep in possibly Shibuya from The World Ends With You, and Riku's dreams are somehow the key to finding him, because they got that dream boyfriend bonding network, I guess. And that could be a whole separate game. Who knows? Yeah. Dream Drop Distance 2, anybody? Can I get some hands? You know, the favorite. I mean, there are several new games in the works now, so it's safe to say the ideas that Nomura had in mind for Versus 13 that never came to be in Final Fantasy 15, because it was basically usurped from him and was totally different from the original vision, are now going to be reworked into a future Kingdom Hearts title, somehow with Yozora and his world. Because Kingdom Hearts is where Nomura has the most creative control, and gosh darn it, he's going to tell us his sad magnum opus emo story one way or another. And God knows how the mobile game's crap and the Masters of Masters plays in all this too. Oh, I am so tired. But Kingdom Hearts is satisfying because there will be answers for stuff at some point. Possibly very dumb answers, but answers nonetheless. I relish in the unpredictability, and Remind showed me that Kingdom Hearts will never, ever be predictable. The endless mystery is personally a huge draw, because if you're down in the details, these big twists and turns do have layered build-up. Possibly very stupid build-up, but build-up nonetheless. Yeah, Nomura makes stuff up as he goes along sometimes, and yeah, the plot has gotten pretty bloated and weird juggling all these characters and themes, but he is smart enough to leave open little plot point connections for cool concepts to come full circle in the grand scheme of this fun mess. And it's why folks have stuck with the series for this long despite things getting a little convoluted. What can I say? The Kingdom Hearts twist hit different. I don't know when the mystery will ever end, or if this series will ever have an actual final satisfying conclusion that ties up all the loose ends. But I know I won't be bored by it when I see it, and that's what I'm here for. A good, entertaining time. So strap in, gamers, cause it seems the wild ride is far, far from over.